Hi and welcome to the latest Ancient Egypt news from the first week in November. Prime Minister Dick Schoof of the Netherlands announced during a visit to Cairo recently that his country would return an ancient sculpture to Egypt after the artefact was determined to have been looted and illegally transported to a city in the Netherlands. The artefact, a stone head from about 3,500 years ago, turned up at an art fair and exhibition in Maastricht in 2022, according to a news release from the Dutch Information and Heritage Inspectorate. Dutch and Spanish police investigated the case and determined that the sculpture was stolen during the unrest of the Arab Spring in 2011 or 2012. Egyptian authorities then confirmed the item was illicitly trafficked and illegally exported. The Dutch government said it would return the artefact to the Egyptian ambassador to the Netherlands at the end of the year. Following an anonymous tip about the object's illegal origin, the dealer voluntarily relinquished the sculpture, the news release said. The sculpture is of a high-ranking official from the dynasty of Pharaoh Tuthmose III, whose military campaigns solidified Egypt's position as one of the region's superpowers, according to the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization in Cairo. The value of artifacts that have been stolen during the Arab Spring was incalculable, said Christopher A. Marinello, a lawyer who helps recover lost art. During the revolution, sophisticated and systematic looting occurred across major Egyptian archaeological sites, according to Egyptian and US officials. There were also instances during the height of the Arab Spring of local residents forming human chains to protect artifacts in museums. Stolen pieces often turn up years later in the United States or Europe. The stone head sculpture that turned up in the Netherlands had been removed from a larger block statue, causing irreparable destruction. According to Yuri Vught, a spokesperson for the Dutch Information and Heritage Inspectorate, the head, made from rock granodiorite, dates from around 1479 to 1425 BCE. Experts determined this from the shape of the wig and other stylistic features of the head, including its rounded face and the shape of the eyes, mouth, ears and eyebrows. The head is 7.5 inches in height. It was lucky in some ways that this sculpture turned up at the European Fine Art Foundation in Maastricht, because it is known for adhering to a strict code of conduct, said Mr. Marinello, the founder and chief executive of Art Recovery International. The artefact's presence at such an elite art fair, where museums shop for items to add to their collections, speaks to its significance. Things don't show up at Maastricht unless they are museum quality, he said. Dealers at Maastricht are high caliber and cooperative because they do not want the reputational risk of having an item that was concluded to have been stolen, Mr. Marinello said. In contrast, he said, there are ongoing cases of Nazi-looted gold in Germany in which he has presented the dealer with evidence that the piece was looted by Hermann Göring, founder and commander of the Luftwaffe, and the dealers still refused to relinquish the pieces. Wil Corner, TEFAF's head of fairs, said it works closely every year with Dutch and international police forces, exhibitors, the Art Loss Register and its vending committees. All these work to ensure every object and provenance of antiquities was reviewed, and as such this was removed from sale in 2022, he said in a statement. He added that the sculpture was also presented at the 2020 fair, but at that point the police were not aware of any issues with the piece. Mr. Schoof, the Dutch Prime Minister, was in Egypt for a 2-day visit that coincided with the official opening of the new Grand Egyptian Museum. Egypt has launched a new platform, Rehla, which means trip in Arabic, to organise free school trips to archaeological sites across the country, the Minister of Tourism and Antiquities announced in a statement. The launch came one day after the official opening of the GEM. The launch of this platform reflects a strong commitment to leveraging modern technology and advancing digital transformation within the tourism and antiquities sector. It aims to enhance both educational and tourism experiences by enabling school students to visit archaeological sites and museums easily, safely and in an organised manner, said the ministry. Through the platform, school trips can be booked online, helping to reduce overcrowding, ensure student safety and strengthen young people's connections to Egypt's rich civilization. It also promotes archaeological and tourism awareness among students from an early age. The platform was developed in coordination with the Ministry of Education and Technical Education through the integration of the two ministries' databases. This integration ensures the accuracy and efficiency of the booking procedures, as well as the electronic verification of school coordinators' identities. School coordinators can use the platform to book trips to 112 archaeological sites and museums across Egypt, including the Giza Pyramids, the Grand Egyptian Museum, the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir, the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization, the Citadel of Saladin, Valley of the Kings, Karnak Temple, the El Bahri Temple, the Greco-Roman Museum in Alexandria, and many other notable archaeological and cultural landmarks. The platform's electronic system manages visit schedules and regulates the number of visitors allowed at each site to prevent overcrowding, ensuring an optimal educational, cultural and tourism experience for all the visitors. The Grand Egyptian Museum drew about 18,000 visitors within hours of its public debut, Egyptian officials said recently. The turnout marks a landmark moment in Egypt's cultural and tourism landscape, as spectators rushed to witness the unveiling of one of the world's largest and most significant cultural complexes. Visitors queued early in the morning, expressing admiration for the museum's contemporary architecture, sweeping open spaces and immersive galleries. The exhibition, dedicated to Tutankhamun, drew particular attention, with many praising its innovative design and the unprecedented display of the king's treasures together for the first time. The opening also drew extensive international and domestic media presence, with global news outlets broadcasting live and reporting on what many described as one of the most significant cultural openings of the century. Minister of Tourism and Antiquities Sherif Fatih described the moment as a historic milestone for Egypt and the world. He added that the GEM goes far beyond presenting extraordinary artifacts, offering a fully immersive cultural journey that reflects the genius of Egyptian civilization across time. The exceptional turnout demonstrates the eagerness of Egyptians and global audiences alike to experience this iconic landmark and reaffirms Egypt's leading position on the world tourism map. Echoing the sentiment, Ahmed Ghanim, CEO of the Grand Egyptian Museum, voiced pride in the public response, saying that this overwhelming reception reinforces our mission to offer a museum experience that blends cutting-edge technology with the timeless wonders of ancient Egypt. Our work continues as we expand our cultural programming and services to ensure the Grand Egyptian Museum becomes an unmissable global destination. Egypt has successfully repatriated 36 antiquities from the United States, all of which had been illegally smuggled out of the country. The operation represents another milestone in Egypt's tireless efforts to safeguard its cultural legacy and recover treasures that tell the story of one of the world's oldest civilizations. According to a statement by the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, the recovery is due to the concerted efforts of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Emigration, the Office of the Egyptian Public Prosecutor, and other relevant national authorities. In recovering these artifacts, Egypt also collaborated with US authorities within the framework of a Memorandum of Understanding signed between the two countries on the protection and repatriation of antiquities, particularly through the Office of the District Attorney of New York. The Specialized Archaeological Committee from the Supreme Council of Antiquities has received the objects, which will be transferred to the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir for restoration before being displayed according to the museum's exhibition plan. Minister Fatih described the repatriation as a testament to Egypt's unwavering resolve to protect its cultural identity and reclaim its stolen heritage. He praised the fruitful cooperation between Egyptian and American authorities, noting that it reflects a growing global awareness of the importance of combating illicit trafficking in cultural property and preserving humanity's shared heritage. Fatih reaffirmed that Egypt will continue its international efforts to retrieve every smuggled artifact, emphasizing that such cooperation enhances Egypt's reputation as a leader in cultural diplomacy and heritage preservation. Mohammed Ismail Khalid, Secretary-General of the SCA, highlighted that this latest recovery is part of Egypt's broader methodical approach to antiquities restitution. These artifacts are not mere relics of the past, he said, but living witnesses to a civilization that shaped human history. Their return is the culmination of years of scientific, legal and diplomatic work, he added. Meanwhile, Shaban Abdel Jawad, Director General of the Department of Repatriated Antiquities, stated that the retrieved objects fall into three major groups. The first group, comprising 11 artifacts, was handed over by the Office of the DA of New York, including most prominently a mummy mask of a young man from the Roman era, a vessel shaped like the dwarf god Bes, and a limestone funerary stela also dating to the Roman period. The second group consists of 24 rare manuscripts featuring Coptic and Syriac texts, which the Metropolitan Museum of Art returned voluntarily to the Egyptian consulate in New York as a gesture of goodwill. The third group includes a painted plaster relief from the 18th dynasty, which was confiscated by New York authorities after the artifact proved to have been smuggled out of Egypt. This latest repatriation adds to a growing list of successful recoveries that Egypt has achieved in recent years as part of a broader national effort to restore its stolen heritage and reinforce its position as a global guardian of antiquities. And that's it for this week. This news podcast is brought to you by Ted Laux and G&T Tours. Ancient Egypt News is now rated in the top 5 Egypt history podcasts according to feedspot.com. Follow us on social media and now on YouTube. Don't forget to visit our website for details on our upcoming 2026 tours to Egypt. Thanks for listening to this episode. Please feel free to comment and share. Until next time, thanks again. Cheers. Bye-bye.